Hello my fellow creators and welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to day 2 of my series using the April 2026 All Clubs Crate from Spellbinders. So today I am using the press and foil of the month, which is the Seed Co border. Look how pretty that is. And I decided to glimmer. So I used the black glimmer foil that came with this All Clubs crate. And I did prep all my pieces ahead of time. So I also used the stencil of the month, and I used this border piece at the bottom from the small die of the month. So what I did was glimmer using that plate on this lavender cardstock, and then I trimmed around it and I cut out the center portion using my X-Acto knife and scissors, so a combination of the two, so that it's more of a frame. Then I also, using some Raven cardstock, I cut 2 of these border pieces with the die from the small die of the month. Oh my goodness, words are hard. And then I also glimmer foiled one of the sentiments. This one says, "You're the reason good grows." Also on that lavender cardstock. Then I used the stencil and I stenciled on here, but I didn't use the layer that had the berries. So I used my Distress ink cubes again, and I kind of very carefully left off where it would have the branch that led to the berries. And then I did kind of ink blend with some more lavender using the last stencil, and that way these kind of look, I don't know, like polka dots throughout. Let me see if you could tell. There you go. Then I trimmed this panel down because it's going to be behind my little frame. So I want to put my pieces together, and these I trimmed down because I'm going to put them along the bottom edge here and the top edge, because silly me, when I was foiling, one of the edges I didn't get aligned right, so it foiled off the edge of the paper, which is fine. I'm not too worried about that. So let me start with, let's see, I'm going to pop up our frame. So I'm going to grab some of these adhesive strips. They're foam strips from Spellbinders. And friends, I'll be sure to link to anything that is still available in the description box. I always forget to mention that. And at first I kind of thought, when I trimmed this out to be a frame, I had thoughts of making a shaker, but then I kind of said, no, you know what, I'm gonna just pop it up so it has some dimension, and I'll make a shaker another time. So let me get these foam pieces on here. And where are my scissors? Always misplacing them. So I like this idea. Like, I thought about it. I was kind of going through all the ideas in my head of how to use the foiling press. And I landed on making it a frame because I was looking at it and saying, well, I'm going to need to add a sentiment somehow. But then I thought, well, if I stencil, which I did, and then I press and foil around it, you know, what if I go on there crooked, or, you know, all the things that could have gone wrong after I stenciled? Or what if I put it on and then I stenciled afterwards and it didn't work out? So I kind of just, at that point, landed on the idea of making it a frame so that I could make it work as a little picture frame of sorts. Okay, and I'm just kind of adding pieces of foam tape around the whole back, and then I'm going to attach that to my stenciled panel and kind of line up where I am putting my border pieces, because I want to make sure that they're lined up correctly on my card base. So let me start by adding my little stencil panel on there, and then we can add the borders and the sentiment. Okay. Loving this, loving this. I'm excited to use the rest of the kits in the All Clubs crate. I always have to think when I'm saying that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is put it upside down actually to kind of center it here. Make sure it doesn't show through the front. There we go. And see, we have that a little bit of dimension, but it's still showing my centerpiece. Then what I will do is I'm going to attach it to my card base, and I'm going to just use my ATG here just in case I have to shift anything around, and then just center it here before I put on my black border pieces. Okay, now once I've got those there, oh, I should have trimmed these first. That's okay, I can trim them. Let me just kind of put this on here. I thought I was all prepared, but apparently I was not. Or I could just leave them extending the whole way, right? Let me see. You know what, let me just get these on there, and then if I need to trim them, I will. And if I don't, I won't. So kind of covering up that little top section. I think that's good. I don't think, what do you think? I don't think I need to trim it. I think we'll be good. And then we'll do the bottom one, the same. So let me get that centered on there. Okay. And see, I kind of have more white space showing on the top section than the bottom. So I am going to adjust my panel. That's why I used my kind of my ATG and didn't really press down, so that I can actually, now that I took it off, I could trim it. Let me do my trimming here. And this side. Okay. Oh, that looks cute. Okay, so back to where I was placing this. Kind of center it a little bit better. Yeah, that looks better. Let me get all my trash out of here. Okay, then I can add my sentiment, and I am going to pop it up because I want it at the same level as my frame there. So let me get my little foam strips, which are perfect because they're narrow enough that I can get them on my sentiment here without overlapping or without it showing. Actually, I am going to trim it a little shy of the end there because I am going to let it overlap just slightly right there. So a little bit of liquid glue, and I'll remove the backing, of course, which I almost forgot to do. So then it just says, "You're the reason good grows." Look how beautiful that looks. Now I'm thinking I might get some gems to add there. So I'm going to use my Color Essentials gems, the Onyx gems, and kind of put them in the centers of the little flowers. Oops. Where is my little pokey tool to guide it right where I want it? Now I used my Black Soot Distress ink for this centers, but I think adding these little gems to the centers of the flowers will give it an added touch, right? Oh yeah, I like it. Alrighty friends, what do you think? There's card number 2 for day number 2 of our All Clubs Create series for April of 2026. I really like the way this one came out, guys. So cute. So see, you can kind of adapt your plate and your card that you press or foil to work for you. Now I did do a little bit of overfoiling, but all I did was grab some of the best ever craft tape from Spellbinders and kind of pick up any overfoiling with that tape. So that really helped. But I love the way this turned out. Loving it. Alrighty friends, stay tuned for day 3 where I will use another one of the clubs from the All Clubs Create from April 2026 by Spellbinders. Thanks so much for sticking around to the end. I'd be thrilled if you subscribe to my YouTube channel or followed me on any of my other social media platforms. As always, have a beautiful, safe, and creative day. Thanks for watching. Bye.